Happiness, and I'm here to bring you another video. I know I am long overdue, but this whole YouTube thing is not really new to me, but the whole trying to be consistent and blog about my debt-free journey, although I've been, no, I'm sorry, not blog, but vlog about my debt-free journey when I've already been blogging about it for about a year now. It's kind of difficult to come up with, well, it's not difficult to come up with video ideas. I just don't want to be repeating content for people who follow me on the blog and follow me on YouTube. So I'm here today to talk about emotional spending. And so I'll share a quick story with you. Recently, this past Friday, my mom ended up having to take my niece back to school. And so she is the one who watches baby boy 3. 3 is in, that's how old he is. So I ended up taking him to work with me. I didn't want to have to call out. So I just decided I would take him to work. I'd sit him in my cubicle, pack him with a lunch and some toys, keep him quiet, his iPad, the laptop so he could watch videos, some Legos and some cars or whatever. Got him to work, everything was fine. So, mind you, though, I work as a child protective services social worker, and we have kids in the building all the time. We file petitions where we remove custody, and sometimes those kids are sitting in our cubicles with us for hours until the foster care placement worker can find a foster home, or we can find another placement, another family member, or whatever. So, naturally, I would think that, oh, okay, other people's kids come in here all the time. Surely it won't be a problem for my child to come in here because he's nice and he's quiet. He's going to be occupied. He's not going to be running up and down the hallways or whatever. And nobody really know he's here. He's in my cubicle. He's under my desk and our curtain is closed and he doesn't do a lot of talking. So, or he won't be talking really loud so nobody will notice. So I bring him into work or whatever, get work, bring him into work, set him up under my desk in my cubicle or whatever. And as my coworkers are walking by, they may hear him talking or whatever. Or they knock on my cubicle and they say good morning or ask me a question. And they see him and they don't necessarily say he's not supposed to be here. They're like, oh, I didn't know we could bring kids to school, or is this your child? I didn't know he could be here. How long is he gonna be here, or whatever. And so I'm not the type of person who likes to be deceitful at work or intentionally be breaking rules. So I went to the program manager and I told her my situation and that my son was here with me at work and wanted to know if it was okay. And long story short, she was like, no, he's not supposed to be here. You're gonna have to find somebody else to watch him, or you're gonna have to take a day, an annual leave day. So I was like, okay, no problem. I'll just take an annual leave day. So that was about 9 o'clock. I was working on a really important case. Well, all my cases are important, but I was working on a case that may have needed a quicker action. And so I ended up having to wait for my supervisor to come in so I could talk to her about that case in case there was something I needed to do before I left, considering it was a long weekend coming up. So she ended up not getting there until after 11 o'clock. By the time we spoke about the case and I did everything I need to do on the case, we didn't leave until 1 o'clock. I get off at 5 o'clock. So technically only took a half a day and he was there the whole time. Anyhow, it really upset me because, again, we're child protective service workers and we have children in our offices all the time and nobody ever thinks about how us having children there affects the other work we're supposed to be doing on other cases. And it sent the message that your job is more important than your family. I might have been overreacting, but I was upset. So to get to the emotional part about it, I was upset and all these obsessive thoughts started to take over. And so I just immediately started thinking, you know what, when we leave here, baby boy, or Boogie is what I call him, Boogie, we're going to go to the Sprint store, we're going to go to Best Buy, and I'm going to get me a new iPhone, and that way I can make more videos, and I can work on my blog as I go, and eventually I'm going to work myself out of this job, because I can't, this is just ridiculous. I can sit with other people's kids all day, but my own kid can't come to work. And so I was very upset and I was very irrational. And to say the least, I'm sure there have been one time or more where emotional spending has resulted in you making huge purchases, putting them on your credit card, and getting yourself further into debt. This is not my first time I've decided to make a huge purchase because I was feeling emotional, and I'm sure it won't be the last time. I'm just hoping that when the next time comes, if it comes, if I can't talk myself out of it, I make the purchase with cash. So if you're wondering if I made the purchase, I didn't. By the time I left work, me and Boogie were hungry, so we went home. And the obsessive thought to still purchase an iPhone for, to invest in myself and continue to grow my YouTube channel continued to linger in the back of my mind. And I thought about, all sorts of ways like, oh, I could just wait until payday and just buy it with the $600 that I was planning on paying my credit card off. And I was like, absolutely not. Then I was thinking, no, I'll just swipe it. And I was like, absolutely not. Then I was thinking, well, I'll just add a line or get a new line and get a free phone. And then I was like, no. So I ended up not getting the iPhone. I'm actually recording this on my MacBook. But I just wanted to come and share 4 tips on how to avoid emotional spending. And this will be real quick. The first is to identify the feeling. So on Friday, when I was upset, obviously I was feeling anger and frustration. And making a huge purchase for an iPhone, when you say it out loud like that, I'm angry, so I'm going to buy an iPhone, it really doesn't make any sense. Like, there's no connection there. You're like, what? Wait, you're angry, so you're going to buy an iPhone? What? Run that by me again? So, yeah. The next thing is to process the feeling or rationalize. So, as I talk myself through it, although I still do feel like that is the message that the company is sending, after I talked to some of my coworkers, it was explained to, and my supervisor, it was explained to me that we used to could bring our kids to work, but some coworkers were taking advantage of it, and the message that was sent was not to abuse it. So by the time my supervisor had got in and spoke with the program manager, it was actually fine for Boogie to stay at work with me, but we just decided to leave, just take the rest of the nice Friday and get ahead on some things. So rationalizing it out, and talking yourself through it kind of calmed me down on Friday and throughout the weekends, to say, I know I'm not one of the people who have abused the ability to bring my child to work. So, in the worst case scenario, if I have to do it again, I will do it, or I'll be better prepared in the future for emergencies like this where my mother's not available. The next thing, my next tip is to seek an alternative. I was angry. I could have eaten, although I don't like to emotional eat because that's a health thing. I could have did something. Actually, I did do something else. Although I was way much more calm by the time I got home, I went for like a 4-mile walk and really got to thinking about some things and processing through my feelings of anger and really thinking about long-term goals when it comes to my children and my job, and trying to make a plan from there long term. Obviously my YouTube channel or my blog is nowhere near the point where I could even consider quitting my job. And for me to quit my job hoping to make an income comparable off of YouTube and my blog, Go Digging the Happiness, just is not something I want to put my family through at this time. So my next tip number 4, is to make a plan. I still very much want the iPhone just because it would be so much more convenient for me to set my iPhone up, because I spend a lot of time in my car as a social worker, set my iPhone up on my dashboard, on my steering wheel, and make videos there while I'm driving or on my lunch break, as opposed to waiting to have to get home and do all my other mommy duties, sometimes do work afterwards, spend some extra time with my kids, read to baby boy number 4, and all of that stuff. So, and really, that would help me grow my YouTube channel as opposed to, oh, I'm angry, let me get an iPhone, grow my YouTube channel. So My 4 tips again to help avoid doing any type of emotional spending is to identify the feeling, number one, process the feeling or rationalize through the feeling, seek alternatives, and then make a plan. So my plan is to actually I added an iPhone sinking fund or envelope to my sinking funds or my envelopes. So, and my plan is to hopefully get the iPhone 6 at the 4 or 5 payments. And so I will be adding those that fund into my budget, and I'll get my iPhone then. And until then, I'll either just have to utilize one of my daughter's iPhones or baby boy's iPad, or I'll just have to wait till I'm home and use my MacBook. So thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, you have any comments, or any helpful tips on how to get past an emotional spending day, please leave them in the comments below, and don't forget to rate, subscribe, and follow. Like, rate, and subscribe. Also, follow me on Instagram, Go Digging to Happy, Twitter, which is Digging to Happy, and then always check out my blog where I share more in-depth things about getting out of debt and financial freedom. It's a personal look at my journey. I go very into detail there as well. And that website is www.goaldiggingtohappiness. Thank you. Bye-bye.